week as well. I'll jump right into the material here, and I'm going to get in the way and out the way very quickly so you all can get to your celebratory events or just whatever you have going on for the rest of the evening. And I want to thank you also for joining me and taking the time to stop in and checking me out. The T on NPD and relationships. Let's get it, y'all. So let's talk about the subject today, which is manipulation, projection, and control with the narcissist. So when we look at projection, is what I want to take on first. Because of their lack of self-awareness, because of the narcissist's inability to reflect and go within, anything that is perceived as a flaw, any type of character flaw, anything that would be perceived as negative to anyone outside, because you have to understand, their validation comes from the outside, not the inside. So their reputation, their image is huge to them. That's why projection is such a pivotal piece of their weaponry, because of the fact that they lack the ability to go within and to change what's within. Many times when you're involved with these individuals, when we were involved, because I myself survived this as well, they tend to project onto you what they actually are. And so what that typically looks like is they'll do things like calling you things that you're not. If you're having an argument and they're the ones that are lying in the argument and they know that, they'll tell you it's you. They'll do things like mimicking you, exaggerating the truth to make you look bad. But it's not you, it's actually them. Another example would be let's just say a preemptive. They want to get ahead of you. They want to go and start a smear campaign because they're afraid of what you may say because of the way that they've abused you. What they'll do is they'll go and start a smear campaign and start projecting and smearing you, or they'll project onto you first who they really are, and then they'll go smear you to others. So it's kind of like a strike first. They're going to strike before you can strike. Because remember, their image is everything. They will defend that false self, that false narrative, that mask that they wear every day to the world. They will defend that, to the hilt. That is the most important thing in the world to them. So it's sort of like a preemptive strike, if you will. One of their favorite forms of projection and playing it out to the world is playing the victim. Now, that was a huge one in the relationship that I was in. He always played the victim. Everyone was always getting things better than him, doing things better than him, yet he would never get off of his hind part to do anything really for himself. Because also too, what you have to understand that is that most narcissists, especially the covert ones, but narcissists in general, they're very lazy people. They want things easy. They generally don't want to work for anything. And especially in a relationship, if they can project onto you everything that they are and have you apologizing for everything that you've never done to them, but they've done to you, and then go and paint a picture to the world with their family and their minions that follow them around, a picture of you and basically decimating your character, just total character assassination, then you're working hard trying to gain the approval or understand what happened and why these people are treating you this way. And it's all a part of the projection. They're projecting onto you, and when you're naive to what's going on, you have no clue the game that you're in. But it's a game that's actually built to destroy you and tear you down. Because what you have to understand is that they're already broken down, and they know who they are. They know that they don't deserve you. They know that they are people that are manipulators, they're liars, they're cheaters, everything despicable. And they're very shameful of the way that they are. And that's a lot of the reason why they project onto others what they actually are. I can remember a situation with the narcissist in the very serious relationship I was involved in. I actually saw some text messages in his phone from this woman that we had conversation that was supposedly the best friend, although his best friend is supposed to be a guy, right? But she was the female best friend. Yeah, right. Okay. So I found some text messages and I questioned him about them. And I said, well, if nothing has ever happened between the two of you, then why are you sending text messages like this, back and forth? And it wasn't the first time that I questioned him about it. And so he proceeded to tell me, now, me, the person that's paying all of the bills in my house, he's contributing nothing to the bottom line because they're takers, y'all. Takers. They take everything and give nothing but heartache and pain. That's it. So he proceeds to tell me that, form of projection, example, you're going to let this woman make you lose the best thing that ever happened to you, meaning him. You see that? Projection. So he was actually projecting onto me what he was and what he was doing. He was actually doing it, but was projecting onto me and telling me that I was going to make that happen when, in fact, it was him all the time. So that's a form of projection, just giving you a real life example and what happened to me. And I looked and I was like, wow, I couldn't even believe what he was saying. And so what you have to understand is because they have such low self-esteem and self-value, and they're shame-based individuals, they have to use projection to somewhat calm that narrative, the negative narrative that is going on in their head all day, every day, that they're nothing, that they can be nothing, that they're not lovable, that, all of these negative things. And then on top of all of that, their behavior, because of the negative narrative that is playing in their mind all day, every day, they behave badly. They behave badly because this is who they are, because they refuse to go within and do the work within. Now, I found some information that I wanted to, of course, give you. Now, also too, I looked at a little bit of information also regarding the projection, and this one stood out to me huge as I was doing my research, and it's a defense mechanism, of course. The projection is, and so when you basically call them out on their mess, you call them out on their crap, and you're like, no, this is what you're doing, and you're holding them accountable. Okay? You're going to hold them accountable. That's a joke. We all know that's a joke because they're never going to take accountability. They lack the ability to go within. So they're never going to take accountability because when they were kids, whoever the caretaker was or whatever environment that they were in that was toxic, okay, whatever that environment was, they had to not, they weren't able to show their imperfections or they weren't able to admit their faults and their flaws, because whoever the caretaker or the caretakers were that were dysfunctional would beat them down mentally for basically just being a kid. So the actual false self was developed when they were a child. They split because of the trauma of the dysfunctional environment, they split from that person that they are as that child, and they formed a false self. So this false self is what does the projecting, okay? So it's not who they are for real. That's not who they are. But this is the picture that they've learned to paint for the world, right? So when you call them out on their crap and you tell them, hey, no, that's not the way that it happened, and I beg to differ, and you're basically you're not having it. You're not going to allow them to get away with it. They will defend that false self. No, it never happened. It never happened. No, it's you. It's not me. And so this is what they do. It's a part of a defense mechanism that is built into that false self that they've developed. So all of that, all of the projection, and with the projection comes the blame shifting, okay? So they'll always shift the blame on someone else. They're never going to take accountability for what they did because, again, they lack the ability because of the low self-esteem, the low self-worth, being a shame-based individual. They lack the ability to go within, to change what's within, to say that it's okay. I can heal the trauma from within, and now I can go within and I can take accountability. That's how you grow. These people never grow out of it. They can never change because they lack the ability to go within and to do the work and to deal with the trauma that they experienced as a child. Now, what you're dealing with as an adult is an adult, male or female, with the emotional intelligence of at most a 7-year-old. 7-year-old, 5-year-old, all the way down, going down from there. Highly narcissistic little people, but that's a part of their growth and development. We expect that from them. Okay, so projection was the main piece that I wanted to bring out. The manipulation. The manipulation starts from day one. The manipulation starts with the love bombing. That's number one. They want to get into your mind. They want to give you that dopamine hit, that high in your mind. High beautiful, high handsome, very seductive. The female narcissists are very seductive. The male narcissists are generally very charming. I know mine was very charming. Everything was high beautiful. Oh, you're so awesome. You're so wonderful in the beginning. Okay. Everything you do in the beginning is just wonderful. Key part of manipulation. Because if you think of a 7-year-old or you think of a child, their emotional intelligence is just the exact same. They butter you up so they can ask for whatever it is that they want. It's a form of childish manipulation, except it's with an adult now that is never, ever going to grow out of that because, again, they lack the ability to go within. All right. So you're dealing with an adult that has the emotional intelligence of at most a 7-year-old. So that is where the manipulation starts. It starts from day one during the love bombing stage. If you have a semantic narcissist, most of them vacillate between semantic and cerebral, meaning the cerebral narcissists, they are the thinkers. They're not really the ones that are into the looks, all of the sex and all of that. They're more thinkers. They want to captivate the mind. Well, both would like to captivate the mind. They eventually, that's the goal. But the cerebral uses more advanced mind games. The semantic, which is kind of like your lower end to mid-grade narcissists, they use a lot of their looks. They talk a good game. But one thing you will always notice about them is they can talk the talk, but they never walk the walk, right? But the expectation is for you to talk the talk and walk the walk. And you can never do what they do. And even if they do it and you catch them in it, it's still they did not do it. That's another video. Anyway, so the manipulation starts from the beginning. So they'll manipulate you into thinking that they're your soulmate. They mirror you. That's part of the manipulation. Everything you like, they like. Everything you want to do, they want to do. They're finishing your sentences for you. They're studying you intensely to bring you down. They have to bring you down to their level. They have to steal your energy. They have to steal who you are as a person so they can control you. Because you vibrating and happy and vibrating at a high frequency, that's too much for them. Because remember, they're shame-based individuals. So in order to control you, which is the other piece of this video, in order to control you, they have to bring you down to their level. And trust me, they have an army to do it. They enlist their family members, they enlist their friends, and like I said in the last video, don't fool yourself, okay? The family absolutely knows who this person is. You are not the first rodeo, and you will not be the last. And as I said before, I'm not going to say that all family members will be on board with the mission to destroy you, but they are very, very skilled at picking out the family members that never liked you in the beginning. Why? Because those family members are generally narcissistic, just like the person that you were involved with. And they know that those family members are jealous of you and they don't like you anyway. They really don't like the narcissist. But it's family, so they have to deal with them. So they're very skilled at basically weaving this web of deception before you. And the web is designed to trap you and to isolate you and make you become their slave. So in the title, I said, let me be me. Let me be me. So when you're dealing with this type of manipulation, projection, which is ultimately these weapons that they use are to ultimately control you. Let me be me, you being your authentic self, is out the window. Why? Because they can't control that you. So they have to turn you or change you into a you that is really not you, that they can control. Then you have two fake people walking around, living and loving a lie, is what happens. Now you've turned into what the narcissist is if you give in to the projection and the manipulation and you buy the lie. Now there are two fake people walking around living a lie. You're no longer the person that you were. You've lost yourself in the web of lies and deception. Lies and deception. So remember that, squad. Projection, manipulation, it's there to control you, to change you into a person that you were never meant to be. Oh, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. Because for those of you out there that are empaths, like myself, oh, let me tell you, it's only going to last for a while. Because once we start to wake up, once the empath starts to wake up, there's hope for codependence too. But once you start to wake up and you start to listen to your intuition and you start to ask the very hard questions and you start to fight back against your heart, because your heart can be wicked and deceitful above all things, but your intuition will never lie to you. I can remember the many times that I was accused of having someone else cheating on him or having other interest or lying about different things. And it was never me. It was him all the time. But this is who he is. A person that says he never lies, he never cheats. Makes it a point to always point that out about himself. But when they do that, it's because it's exactly who they're not. That's not who they are. So if they can get you, you're strong. You're a survivor. You didn't walk out on yourself the way that they did. They walked out on themselves. They divorced themselves as a child because of the traumas that they endured in the dysfunctional environment that they were raised in. They now think that they can't be loved and there's nothing good in them. And that's the narrative that plays in their head all day. So when they get with you, a person with such a beautiful light that always wants to come with a solution to the problem, always want peace, they hate you. Why? Because you can be authentic. You can really love. You can give from your heart, and you don't need to be worshipped for a compliment or a gift. You're self-validating. You can do it from within. You can do things that they can't, and they hate you for that. They hate you. So anyone that hates you ultimately wants to destroy you and to control you. It makes them feel better about who they are. But oh, when you break away from the web and you understand who you are and you understand what you're dealing with, oh boy, it's a different ball game. You are liberated. You understand who you are. You can walk with your chest out because you understand the strength that you have. Beautiful people, my squad, let me tell you, there is life after the abuse. I lived it. And I'm thankful that I had the opportunity to see what that monster really looked like. And now I have dedicated this channel to helping you, those lives that I touch, to understand what this abuse looks like and to understand that you are somebody. And no matter what the narcissist tells you and how they lie on you and how they tell family members and friends all of these horrible things about you that you never did, you just look at it like this. Their karma, the law of reciprocity, is built into everything that they do. And trust me, they will look for you in another, and they will never find you again. I used to tell mine all the time, for it would be better for you to have never ever known me than for you to know me and to know what it's like to be in a relationship with me, and for me to love you the way that I can, and I did, and I will. Because if you mess over me and you treat me badly and you abuse me, the memories of me and how I treated you and how I loved you unconditionally, the best way I knew how, the memories of me will forever live in your mind, and they will torment you for the rest of your days, because you had something beautiful. You abused it, and God allowed it to be taken away. And today, I can stand liberated and say that I am healed. I am free. I feel good in the city of my soul, because I went within and I decided that I was going to be better than my circumstance. And you'll be better too. Remember, people that want to manipulate in order to project and control you do not love you. They want to change you. Never allow someone to dim your light. Never allow someone to dim your light. Always take by force what's yours and what rightfully belongs to you. And that is a life that is full of life. I've heard many say that life is meant to be enjoyed, not endured. And baby, that's what the narcissist does every day. They endure life because of all of the horrible things that they've done to people. They have a trail of mishaps and a trail of shame and things that they've done to others, including their family members. And they have to live with this every day. But you, my squad, you get to wake up every day knowing that you have another day to do it over. You're optimistic, you're loving, you're kind, and you can keep it moving. Keep it moving. To all of my empaths out there, keep your light shining ever so brightly. To my super empaths, we have a lot of work to do. But the workers are few, the harvest is plenteous. Stay in the game. Continue to work on yourself. Let your light shine and bring others out of the darkness of the abuse. Lead them out with your light. Super empaths, we have a hard job, but we went through the abuse because the Creator knew that we could endure. And so now that we have endured, it is time for us to take our rightful place and mount up and lead others out of the abuse and out of the pile of rubbish that the narcissist has tossed them under with their lies, their games, and their manipulation. You are beautiful. Let your light so shine before the world. I want you all to have a beautiful week. That is my presentation for this Sunday. I want to say thank you so much for visiting my channel. And please like, share, and subscribe. And of course, I do have my contact information. My email information is also on my YouTube page if you're interested in asking some additional questions or want to send a message. But just know that there is a Creator that sits high And he loves you. And he loves the narcissist too. And as I say, pray for them, because they don't even realize that they can be loved. And hopefully they will be turned over from a reprobate mind before they leave this earth, and they will be able to transition in paradise as well. Pray for them, because of the heart that we have, we want to love and not hate. At the very most, be indifferent. It doesn't affect your vibe nor your frequency. All right, y'all, that's it for me. And I want to tell you to have a wonderful week ahead, and you all be safe while you're out and about this week. Be safe, and just know, keep your head up. Everything is going to be okay, even when it doesn't look like it's going to. Every day, as we live and we go through, we get better and better. Okay, to the next video, y'all. Ciao.